We are ready to go for race number 2 here in Spa. It's round 6 of the 2020 Euroformula Open Championship. It's the longest circuit on the calendar. It's a driver's favourite. It's a fan's favourite as well, and one that produces some of the best racing in Euroformula Open. My name's Chris McCarthy. Hope you're excited as much as I am for this one. It's going to be a 14-lap race. The grid was set for this yesterday. The temperatures are rising just a little bit, and in Spa terms, 5 degrees is average at this time of the year. It is cold out there, but it is dry, and that means we are going to have close slipstreaming racing coming up for you. We had a good race yesterday, went all the way to the wire between teammates Yifei and Lucas Dunner, and that will be the front row today for you as well. We had a new face to the podium in Ido Cohen, and some new faces to the championship this weekend as well, one of them being one of those drivers there, Louis Foster, Double R Racing, bringing in 2 new faces for this weekend. But it was a good race yesterday. It ended in dramatic terms, but it did provide lots of entertainment for us. As I said, it went to the wire between teammates Yifei and Lucas Dunner, but behind there was a battle between Zane Maloney and Nicholas Cruton, which went to the flag. Zane Maloney was catching Nicholas Cruton. Nicholas Cruton held that 3rd place for a long time. He was once challenging the leaders. Then he found himself coming under pressure from Zane Maloney, who is about 8 tenths behind going into the final lap, and just seemed to time his race to perfection and started to catch. But then there was when he went for his move into the chicane, there was contact between the two, and he has received a 5th-place grid job for this race. Nicholas Cruton finishing outside of the points for the first time. That boosted Ido Cohen up to 3rd. Andreas Essner got another solid result in 4th place, and with Nicholas Cruton out, he extended his advantage over Nicholas Cruton in the battle for 4th to 17 points. Cameron Daz drove from 14th place to 5th. Manuel Maldonado pulled off some moves of the season on his route to 6th. Louis Foster and Benjamin Pedersen were 7th and 8th on their very first races in the championship. Sebastian Essner was 9th, and Glenn Van Berlo came from the pit lane to 10th to continue to be one of just 2 drivers to finish in the points every single race. Andrade was 11th, Cruton 12th, Bardignon 13th, Maloney was 14th place after he stopped on the run to the start-finish line on the final lap. The cars are just making their way round now to get onto the grid. I'm based on the start-finish line in the commentary box. I can see the cars just pulling up. First to arrive, Yifei and also Louis Foster as well, who were starting the 2nd row for this due to their penalty for Zane Maloney. So Zane Maloney did qualify 4th originally, and that 5th-place grid drop means he's going to now drop down to 9th place. So he's going to have some work to do, but did it pretty well yesterday. And Zane Maloney has the pace. He was just 1/10 off the 2 leaders in terms of his pace yesterday. So has the pace to be battling up the front, and it was a 2-way fight at the front mostly. Nicholas Cruton kind of kept a close watch for a while, but really it was a kind of a head-to-head between Lucas Dunner and Yifei. But I think they're going to have some company today, and we're going to go through that in just a second. I don't think there's going to be just 2 fighting. I think we might have 3, because that man there, Cameron Daz, drove from 14th to 5th, and he was just 1/10 slower than the top 2 in terms of his race pace. That easily made up when we go racing. He was 4/10 off in the qualifying session yesterday, but 3rd place for him. I think he's got a good chance here, Cameron Daz. He hasn't finished on the podium so far this season. His best results so far this year has been 4th, and he's finished there 4 times so far. But I think he's got a great chance here today. One of those 4th places came yesterday, of course, as the cars now make their way down through Bruxelles. You can see the number 6 there, but yeah, Cameron Daz, great drive from him. He finished 5th, sorry, yesterday. He's finished 5th now 3 times this season. Let's see if he can get his first podium. That is what he is trying to chase. That's Ido Cohen, so first podium for him yesterday. Didn't look too happy on the podium, and that's because his teammate Zane Maloney had those troubles, had that incident with Nicholas Cruton going into the final corner. Not really the way you want to take a podium, but you've got to take the good luck when it comes your way, and Ido Cohen has had plenty of misfortunes, so it was time he had some good ones. It's going to be a 14-lapper. It takes a while to get around this circuit, over 2 minutes to be exact. The pole time was 2:08.431 yesterday, and we did a 2:08.447 for Yifei today. He took a lot of confidence from that win yesterday, because he hadn't actually won since the first race at Monza, which is quite a lot in his terms. 4 races without a win. Then he eventually took one yesterday, and you could tell it was a bit of a relief for him. I mean, he's got no one really to fight in the championship. He'd have to have a pointless weekend, literally. Lucas Dunner would have to take all 3 wins, and then maybe we'd have some sort of fight on our hands. But with Lucas Dunner having missed a couple of rounds, and Yifei just been so consistent, he'd had 6 wins to his name by the time we got to Monza. It was incredible stuff. His worst result by the end of Monza was 2nd so far this season, and that kind of form is just too hard to match, unfortunately. So let's go through the grid for you then. He was 2nd yesterday. Lucas Dunner is going to start from pole. Now, his only problem was he lost the lead going up the Kemmel Straight yesterday, so he's going to be aware of that, and he might change his strategy today. But Yifei, after his win yesterday, he took pole quite comfortably earlier, took pole by half a second, so he's had a real confidence boost, not that he needed one. And Yifei will want to go and get another win today and can start some sort of run. But this is the man to watch. This could be the man that can make it a 3-way fight at the front. Cameron Daz, someone with not a lot to lose, given he's missed out on rounds in the championship. Let's see what he can do today. Louis Foster, though, another person guesting at this round with the Double R team, has his eyes on this championship potentially for next year. And he reckons he can challenge for the podium in the 3rd race, but he's there and potentially challenging in race 2. Starting alongside him, or on the 3rd row, is going to be Sebastian Essner. Took the rookie win yesterday. A good result for him. Struggled in the race, but nevertheless came through at the end to take a rookie win. Benjamin Pedersen struggled at the start yesterday, qualified well, but just struggled through the first corner at La Source and then up towards Eau Rouge, and then from that just found himself in a tricky position. But if he can get a better start today, I think he can go well. Next on the grid is Andreas Essner. He finished 4th yesterday. Starts 7th today. We'll be hoping to at least match that result from race 1, as will Ido Cohen. Now, he started in 8th yesterday and then finished in 3rd, his first podium. He was particularly good at the start yesterday, made a number of places through the first half of the lap. Zay Maloney, we know how good he is at overtaking. He's going to start from 9th, won't be happy with the grid job, and as you can see there, he's a bit frustrated, but he's got nothing to lose in this one. So this is what happened yesterday. Lucas Dunner to your left, Yifei to your right. Lucas Dunner led us from pole position up towards the first corner. Got a good start, had a little lock-up going into the first corner. Yifei then got right in his slipstream, and that would help him take the lead going up the Kemmel Straight on the opening lap. Behind, you'll see Benjamin Pedersen to the right of picture there. He's on the inside going in towards Eau Rouge. Andreas Essner to his outside, just loses out, and eventually he'd lose places to Ido Cohen as well. We had side-by-side action with the 2 Crypto Tower racing drivers. This is when Lucas Dunner retook his lead, but only for a while, because he'd give that place straight back again. But I think he probably gave his place back at the wrong time. Didn't leave himself enough of a slipstream, and as you can see, failed to take the lead back. And that was the last he would see of Yifei in terms of getting the lead back. He challenged him all the way to the flag, but Yifei would go and take another win for him this season, his 7th of the season so far. Green flag is waved. The car set off on their warm-up lap for race number 2 of the Euroformula Open, this round 6. Here's how they're going to start. Lucas Dunner and Yiffy, the same front row as it was yesterday. They are going to go head-to-head, I'm sure, but they may be joined by the likes of Cameron Daz in 3rd and Louis Foster on his very first weekend in the championship in 4th. Lead rookie yesterday, Sebastian Estner, starts 5th alongside Benjamin Pedersen on his first weekend in the championship. Andreas Estner is 7th. Podium finisher from yesterday, Ido Cohen, starts down in 8th place. Starting 9th, Ido's teammate Zane Maloney. Manuel Maldonado, watch for him overtaking through the chicane and La Source. He starts 10th. Nicolas Cruton could be one to watch from 11th, given his pace yesterday. Rui Andrade starts from 12th. A good chance for him to score points once again this season. Alexandre Bardignon 13th, and Glenn Van Berlo drove from the pit lane to 10th yesterday. Let's see what he can do from 14th place, one of only 2 drivers to score points every single race this season. Well, there is Benjamin Pedersen. You saw just got a little bit caught out going into Eau Rouge at the start yesterday. With a better start, he could have been challenging for higher positions, could have been challenging for the top 5. He will have carried more confidence now after that race. You know, I was speaking to the driver coach down at Double R, you know, they're just saying they're just having to progress every single session. There was a few red flags for them on Friday. They didn't really get as much time as they would have hoped. So they're just taking this step by step, and each time they go out, whether it be a qualifying or a race, they're just looking to improve. We've got 3 races here, so they've got a chance going into that 3rd race to have a little bit of experience behind them. But Louis Foster and Benjamin Pedersen start on rows 2 and 3. Let's see what they can do from there. They actually battled away with each other yesterday, but Cameron Daz, he's got a chance to battle for the win here, does Cameron Daz. He's got the pace to do it. Hasn't finished on the podium so far this season, though. He's been quite unfortunate at times. He had really good pace at Monza, but things didn't quite go his way there. Let's see if he can do it here. He'll be looking to get at least into 2nd, I'd say, in the opening lap. So particularly into turn 1, I'd say we'll be keeping an eye on him. Louis Foster and Benjamin Pedersen, of course, have got to get used to starting these cars. It's you know, it's a little bit different to the British F3 cars they drive. So yesterday was a test run for them in terms of race starts and opening laps. Now they'll know exactly what they need to do in terms of the warm-up lap procedure and then the start procedure as well. The car's now just coming up towards the chicane. Lucas Dunner yesterday lost the lead down the Kemmel Straight. He would have watched that back. He had that lock up into turn 1. He'll know potentially if he didn't do that, he would have got a better run and might have been able to hold on to the lead. So he'll know exactly what he needs to do now coming up to the start-finish line to go green for race number 2. I can see the cars just coming past the commentary box window now. Lucas Dunner pulls into the grid slot on pole position to the left-hand side of picture. Yiffy alongside Cameron Daz and Louis Foster, row 2. Sebastian Estner and Benjamin Pedersen, row 3. Andreas Estner and Ido Cohen, row 4. Zane Maloney and Manuel Maldonado are row 5. Nicolas Cruton and Rui Andrade, row 6. Alexandre Bardignon and Glenn Van Berlo, who pulls into grid slot now, will round out the field. The green flag goes up at the back of the field. The red lights will start coming on. The revs will rise here at Spa, and race number 2 is green as they make their way down towards turn number 1. A good start for Lucas Dunner, and he's going to be able to take the racing line pretty much through turn number 1. Cameron Daz is being challenged for 2nd. Yiffy trying to go around the outside of Lucas Dunner. Cameron Daz has held on to 3rd place as they now charge down towards Eau Rouge. Yiffy right in slipstream of Lucas Dunner, but Cameron Daz just as close, and we've got a driver trying to challenge into Eau Rouge there as they now come up Eau Rouge for the first time. That's Louis Foster who went up the inside there, and Louis Foster has held on to his 5th place over Estner as they now come down the Kemmel Straight. You can see there all 3 across. Louis Foster to the far left of screen, tucked in right behind Lucas Dunner. Louis Foster with a chance to go into 2nd here as they go in towards Lake Coombe. He's side by side with Cameron Daz. Cameron Daz running a little bit wide, but Foster gets himself up into 3rd place now as they come down to Bruxelles for the first time. It's Dunner from Ye. 3rd place is Louis Foster. Ido Cohen has made his way up into 4th place. Cameron Daz struggling. Benjamin Pedersen there going side by by side, just running a little bit wide. I think Glenn Van Berlo, one of the cars that's gone past him. Glenn Van Berlo has made a flyer of a start. He's already well inside the top 10. Having started from dead last, Glenn Van Berlo has made 7 positions on this opening lap as they now make their way round Podium for the first time. Battle for third here, Louis Foster and Cameron Daz. This isn't what either of them need to be battling with each other, with the two leaders already escaping. A brilliant start from Lucas Dunner, with Yifiye having to defend for second place. He's been given an opportunity here to build a gap at the start of the race as they now come through Stavolo through the first time. Foot to the floor as they now go to Blanchimont. This the first of 14 laps. Lucas Dunner settling into a lead here. It's Louis Foster in third who's going to be under pressure. There's podium finisher from yesterday, Ido Cohen. He's gone from 8th to 5th on this opening lap, and he's got his eyes on third place already. In the background, Zane Maloney trying to challenge Sebastian Esner as we hit the brakes into the chicane. Cameron Daz challenging to the outside of Foster. Foster defending. They come back onto the straight, and Maloney has made the place, and he gets himself now in behind his teammate Ido Cohen as we cross the line. So Zane Maloney up to 6th place from 9th on the grid at the end of the opening lap. In towards La Source now, this for the second time, and they're going to be 5-6 in a line with Glenn Van Berlo at the back of them, having made 6 places on the opening lap as we go up Eau Rouge now for the second time, Elliot. Well, he'll be joining me soon, let's just say that, as they now come down the Camel Straight once more. Lucas Dunner and Yifiye 1 and 2. Then they make their way up towards Les Combes. We've got Foster defending on the left of screen. Cameron Daz to the outside. Ido Cohen trying to come down the inside. Maloney's gone round the outside of all of them, though. Brilliant driving from Zane Maloney. Oh, no, but he's going to run wide. Zane Maloney almost going into a spin there. Oh, almost into a spin with Zane Maloney as they now come down to the hairpin. Cameron Daz has lost a few places, and Zane Maloney now dropping all the way to the back of the field. It was a very good attempt at a move for Zane Maloney as they now come down through turn 11. We've got Benjamin Pedersen there just ahead of Rui Andrade. Lucas Dunner, Yifiye are your top 2. Louis Foster in third place. He's already 2.6 back from the top 2. Cameron Daz in 4th, Ido Cohen in 5th, but Zane Maloney struggling, and I wonder, that looks like a potential puncher for Cameron Daz, who is slowing. What a disappointing start to the race it has been, as that is Ido Cohen getting a bit out of shape. He's made a brilliant start to the race. He's up to 4th place. Now let's have a look at the replay then. So Zane Maloney's to far right of picture, tries to go around the outside of 2 drivers. There was contact there with Cameron Daz, it seems, and I wonder if it was right rear to front left that has caused the problems for Zane. Yes, there you go, there's the contact. So that's damage for both cars then, and I wonder if that's punctures for both of them. It is. So Zane Maloney's tyre there completely destroyed, and Cameron Daz has got a puncture as well. So that's going to be both of them into the pit lane. Disaster for Zane Maloney and for Cameron Daz, and that the reaction for the team as they now go and prepare for a pit stop. So Lucas Dunner, his gap half a second. Yifiye is then 4 seconds ahead of Louis Foster. Ido Cohen a further second back. This is Manuel Maldonado battling away with the number 8 of Benjamin Pedersen, as we see that is Cameron Daz coming into pit lane. Zane Maloney has not been able to make it back, and we've got a yellow flag and a potential safety car here with Zane Maloney stopped at turn 13. Absolute disaster. Cameron Daz, the car is in. So here we go. We're side by side though for the lead. Here comes Yifiye to the right of picture, trying to go all the way around the outside of Lucas Dunner, and he's done it. So Yifiye takes the race lead away from Lucas Dunner as they now come down the hill once more, and he's done it before the yellow flag section. Benjamin Pedersen has retaken 8th place from Manuel Maldonado. Louis Foster is third. You can see the recovery truck getting ready to come round to go to Zane Maloney, who is stuck here at turn 13, which is just after Podium. So Zane Maloney got that far around, but he hasn't been able to make it back, and sadly Zane Maloney's race is over. A weekend that's turning into an absolute disaster for him. Zane Maloney, after that contact yesterday, didn't make it to the line, and he's not going to be able to make it to the line as well. The safety car has been put on standby, and I wouldn't be surprised if by the time the cars get to the end of the lap, it is deployed. It is at this section of the track they are coming into now. So let's have a look at the replay of the change of lead then. So Yifei is to the right of picture, Lucas Dunner to the left, late on the brakes. Yifei very brave there and goes round. Lucas Dunner respects the run, and brilliant driving from Yifei as he goes in to the lead of the race ahead of Lucas Dunner. Safety car has now been deployed, so safety car is out, and we will go under safety car conditions while that car of Zane Maloney is being brought back. There it is, and what a shame, just slight contact between himself and Cameron Daz as he went for a move around the outside, and unfortunately both tyres, right rear for Maloney and the left front for Cameron Daz. Cameron Daz has come back out of the pits, by the way, so if he's been out before these guys have come past him, then he has a, I mean, the safety car's going to have to be out for a while, but he's got a chance to catch the pack back up as long as the crew were able to get him back out again. And indeed he is, so he is back out again. He's 61 seconds back. So Cameron Daz is just going to be going at full speed now to try and catch back up. So here's where we stand in terms of the situation in the race. Yifei leads, Lucas Dunner is in second place. There's no point giving you gaps because look, they're all lined up behind each other now. Louis Foster is third after a good start from fourth place. Ido Cohen has come from 8th to 4th and not even helped by any instance. Has done that all on his own. Brilliant driving from Cohen. Sebastian Essner is your lead rookie in 5th. Glenn Van Berlo has come from 14th place to 6th and is now in a position where he can fight with Sebastian Essner for the lead rookie place and what would be his best result of the season. He is he's finished 5th once so far this season. That was back at the Red Bull Ring in race 3. So he's got a chance to match that, if not improve it here. He's potentially got his eyes on our overall podium. Now Cameron Daz came past me, by the way, so he's already on his way through a route, so he will catch these guys, no problem. Andreas Essner is then in 7th place, which is where he started. Then we have Pedersen, Maldonado and Cruton. So this is a replay of the start. Sebastian Essner got a brilliant start. He was already side by side with Cameron Daz behind the 2 leaders. No problems this time for the 2 leaders. Lucas Dunner taking a defensive line. Louis Foster slots into 5th place. That's Glenn Van Berlo, I think, who ran wide and would rejoin. He'd already made 2 places by that point. Now this is the point. Louis Foster to the right, dives up the inside of Sebastian Essner and goes through. Fantastic driving from Foster. We were then 3 wide. This was when Maloney tried to go around the outside of Daz. There was the contact. Both tyres unfortunately taking damage. Dave Maloney's completely exploded, and thankfully he didn't collect anyone else on his rejoin of the track. Did well to stay out of the way of everyone, but sadly he has not been able to make it back to the pits, and unfortunately, yeah, they were preparing for him to get back, but Maloney's tyre was completely destroyed by that point. It was a false start and bringing Elliott in. Sorry to catch you out there, but I sort of caught myself out there. What have you made of it so far then?
I don't blame Maloney for trying to make that move. I think he really did need to kind of make that move that early, because as we've seen with the Carlin cars tend to be in the race, the pace isn't there at the end of the race, but it is now. So he could have got himself into 3rd and then he would have been in a good position. Foster, great move on Essner, and then a great move on Das as well to get into 3rd place. Brilliant stuff by him. And I think considering Cameron Das is probably the one driver with the pace to actually challenge the top 2, I don't think Ido Cohen and Sebastian Essner behind probably have the race car to, you know, match Foster over the rest of these laps. So I think Foster's on pretty good for a podium. Yeh and Dunner had like a 1 second lead over the first 2 laps. I was watching sector splits as well. Yeh wasn't really closing in, and then it was on that lap when he made the move. I think there may have been a mistake at Eau Rouge because he closed in quite a bit at the start of the Camel Straight.
Well, we are just behind the safety car still. We're going to be doing at least 1 more lap now. So the rest of the top 10, by the way, after Andreas Essner is Benjamin Pedersen is 8th, Manuel Maldonado is 9th, Nicholas Cruton is 10th. So he's in the points, but only just. Andrade is 11th, looking to score points once again this season for what would be the 7th time. Alexandre Bardignon is in 12th place. He's looking for his 4th point score of the season. And Cameron Daz is now caught up. I believe that looks like him at the very back of picture. It is. So Cameron Daz is now at the back. it's not in the fight that he would be hoping for, but he came from 14th to 5th yesterday. He had a few more laps to do it, but let's see what he can do. Sadly, Zane Maloney will be watching somewhere from the sidelines as the field files through, and we're going to have at least one more lap behind the safety car. So Louis Foster, on his first weekend in the championship, finds himself in 3rd place. What a fantastic start to the race it's been for him. But Cohen took his first podium yesterday and has a very good chance to take another. There's Sebastian Estner. He could take his 3rd podium of the season here today. He took podiums at the very first race of the season at Hungaroring, and then another at Red Bull Ring. His form since the Red Bull Ring has been hugely disappointing, really. He's only scored points on 3 occasions since that, since the end of Red Bull Ring. So really, this would be this is a chance at a very good result that Sebastian Estner needs for his own confidence. He's a rookie, we have to remember that, but he's in a fight for that rookie title with Nicholas Cruton, who's having a bad weekend so far. So he's got a good chance here to get some points back over Cruton and get some points back in the championship, because he's down to 9th, and he was once in the top 3 of the standings when we left round 1. But Sebastian Estner now is down in 9th place, and he needs a good point score. He's not a million miles away from Manuel Maldonado in 5th. If he has a really good weekend, he could close that gap down, and particularly if he can get something like an overall podium here, that would really do him some favours. But we haven't seen the situation with Zane Maloney's car yet. We haven't seen if it's we've seen it in the gravel, but we haven't seen it being recovered just yet. So we can't guess whether there's going to be a safety car in this lap. But I hope you're all enjoying the race so far. It's been a pretty explosive start to the race, quite literally, for Zane Maloney, who sadly is now out. Cameron Daz, the damage to his tyre a little less extensive, and he was able to get back into the pits. But the car's just making their way around. So this is the first time this weekend we've had a safety car in Euroformula Open, Elliot. In fact, in both Euroformula Open and in GTs.
Yeah, and it's certainly not only going to pack up the field, but it's going to give drivers the chance to look after their tyres a little longer and have them quite almost race ready for the end of the race. Because often you win and lose races at the end, you don't win them on the opening lap. Although in this case, Cameron Das and Zane Maloney have cost themselves podiums on the opening lap. The fact that Das has been able to go back to the pits, he's come back on track, he's got fresher tyres than everyone else, and we know he can charge from the back of the field to, you know, roughly near the front at this circuit. I don't see any reason why he can't do it again in this race. Admittedly, we are, you know, running through the laps with the safety car, but I think he's got a quicker car than many of the drivers ahead of him.
He'll be one to watch, and there he is. So fresher tyres, you know, nothing to lose now from the back. Only a few laps to do it though, so he's going to have to take his chances as soon as they come. So here we go. The pace is now being controlled by number 20 race leader Yiffy Yi. Lucas Dunner will know that he has a good chance here to take that lead back from him going up the Kemmel Straight on the opening lap. Then we've got Foster and Cohen, who will want to be right in there as well as Yiffy Yi begins to start to speed up, and I think he's now gone for it as we go down towards the chicane. Yiffy Yi has now begun to go at race speed into the chicane. We go, and we are about to get the race restarted, and a bit of a mistake there for Lucas Dunner, and that has opened up a gap for Yiffy Yi, and this could be an opportunity for Louis Foster, who's made a very good restart as they go down towards turn number 1. Ido Cohen now being challenged as well by Sebastian Estner. The top 3 are escaping, and Ido Cohen could be in a bit of trouble. Here comes Maldonado charging down the inside of Benjamin Pedersen and gets a four-wheel drift on the exit as well, and Manuel Maldonado in the end was just trying to avoid an incident there. A very good attempt at a move though as we go up Eau Rouge for another time. Maldonado still battling away with Benjamin Pedersen, but Louis Foster right in the slipstream of Lucas Dunner in the battle for second as they make their way down the Kemmel Straight. Louis Foster pulls out of the slipstream, but unable to get through. Lucas Dunner has grabbed the slipstream of Yiffy in the background. Ido Cohen defending now from Sebastian Estner as they come through Lekum. We've got Clem van Berlo in there as well, doing an absolutely sensational job from the very back of the grid. He is up to 6th on what is his first race here at Spa this weekend, and now he's trying to go around the outside of Sebastian Estner. Clem van Berlo, can he do it around the outside? Not quite able to do it. Tucks back in behind the Van Amersfoort driver as we now go through the left-hander and down towards Podium. Clem van Berlo has Andreas Estner behind. He's in an Estner sandwich here as they come through Podium. That's a challenge down the inside from Maldonado into Podium and past Benjamin Pedersen. Brilliant move from Manuel Maldonado, and at the second attempt he gets himself up into 8th position. In the background, Nicholas Cruton trying to make a move. Cameron Daz also on the attack as well of Rui Andrade.
Great move by Maldonado there, and very risky one from Van Verlo that he actually kind of pulled out of, but correct job there. Cameron Das has actually made 2 places, I believe. He's got past Bardignon. He's now stuck behind his Motorpark teammate Nicholas Cruton. Pedersen's coming under pressure again. We go back to the lead battle. Lucas Dunn has closed right back in on Yiffy, having previously been under pressure from Louis Foster towards the start of the lap as they come through Blanchimont. He's right in the slipstream. I don't think he's going to be able to make a pass chicane as he does. He goes the outside, Dunner goes inside, tucks back in. Going to go into the final chicane. They've already got probably a 1.5 second gap to Louis Foster in 3rd, who's looking pretty safe for a first podium.
Yep, Louis Foster must have made a mistake somewhere because he was right on the tail of Lucas Dunner. Is in the background, Ido Cohen, Sebastian Estner, Glenn van Berlo queuing up. Glenn van Berlo 3rd in that queue behind. Is he about to make a move in that predominantly white and orange coloured car? Not quite able to do it. So Glenn van Berlo, for the time being in that number 12, will stay in 6th place. If he can get to 5th, that will match his best result of the season. Now, within half a second was usually good enough to make a move down the Camel Straight. Lucas Dunner is going to have the run here for the lead. Glenn van Berlo is going to have the run for 5th place as well as they make their way up Eau Rouge. That is Rui Andrade, and that is a move for the lead being made. Lucas Dunner to the right of picture in the purple coloured Crypto Tower racing car. Is he about to do what his teammate did to him and go around the outside? Yes, he is. Lucas Dunner retakes the lead from the FEE. Our second change of lead. Foster has gone into 3rd. Maldonado has dropped down the order to 12th place. So Maldonado's had a problem through the 1st sector somewhere. Foster is still 3rd, Cohen 4th, and Glenn van Berlo is now into 5th place.
It looks like Benjamin Pedersen's now challenging Andreas Estner. He's got Cameron Das. So Das has overtaken Nicholas Cruton as well, up into 9th place now. It does look like Maldonado's potentially been shuffled down the order. The Estner sandwich has also been broken because it looks like Van Berlo just got ahead of Sebastian before they got into Podium.
Yeah, he did. So that's Van Berlo had got through, and he is in 5th place now, so that's a change of our rookie lead as well. So a significant overtake there for Glenn van Berlo, who is now in the lead of the rookie standings. And he's got Ido Cohen in 4th place, not too far ahead of him either, so he's having an absolutely brilliant race. Could get his best result of the season as they now head down towards Blanchimont, and that is Cameron Daz past Nicholas Cruton as well, so he is up a further position. He's challenging Benjamin Pedersen. Cameron Daz doing a great job here in the white and black coloured car as he now comes through Blanchimont. He's got 2 places potentially to grab ahead of him here, one of them being Benjamin Pedersen and one of them being Estner, as there goes Benjamin Pedersen down the inside of Estner. Good move that from Benjamin Pedersen, and gets past Andreas Estner as they now come out of the chicane and make their way down the start-finish straight. So a change of position there, and Pedersen going past as now Estner under pressure from Cameron Daz going in towards La Source.
And of those Estner brothers, it's actually Andreas who's ahead now. It was Sebastian earlier, so lost quite a few places. Maldonado down to 13th as well. Looking back at the bottom of Eau Rouge, Cameron Das is coming back up behind Estner. He's actually got very close to Eau Rouge. I imagine he's going to be able to pull off the move probably halfway down the Camel Straight at this rate. Tucks out the slipstream straight away. You can see him at the back of the frame as Dunner just holds off Ye for the lead going into Lekum. Cameron Das is now almost in a free car battle. He's having to defend as well as attack there, so he won't be able to make the move on Pedersen. Pedersen now in 7th place, Das in 8th, and Estner in 9th.
You can see to the left of picture how many places drivers have gone up and down, and Glenn van Berlo significantly stands out there, doesn't he, in 9th place. So this was the move for the lead, and Lucas Dunner just moving over and just asserting that lead over Yiffy, who had nowhere to go, had to back out of it in the end. Aggressive driving from Lucas Dunner, but fair play at the same time. This is Nicholas Cruton versus Cameron Daz, and Cameron Daz is going to go straight over the chicane, and we'll have to give that place back. This is Pedersen going down the inside of Esner. Down the inside he goes, and that is position made over Sebastian Esner for Benjamin Pedersen. Nice move as well. Just had to control the car, and he did it, but knew that Cameron Daz was just behind him as well. So if you can get past, you're just going to drop more pressure on that driver and take more off yourself at the same time. We've had a gap open up between the top two. Looks like Lucas Dunner has managed to pull away on this lap. Yifei dropping back a little bit. 7/10 is now the gap. This is the battle between Benjamin Pedersen and Cameron Daz. Cameron Daz making his way up the order. Don't forget, he started from last place behind the safety car as he now goes down towards turn number 1. He's now challenging Benjamin Pedersen for 7th place. Has to make these moves as quickly as possible, and I would suspect it will be down the Kemmel Straight where we see Cameron Daz go up a position. Behind that, Sebastian Esner has his hands full with both Nicholas Cruton and Rui Andrade, but I think we're about to see a change of position here. As long as Cameron Daz can get a good run, he's surely going to go past Benjamin Pedersen as they come up Eau Rouge. We'll keep an eye on that in the background, but now let's return to our leaders. Lucas Dunner, who did have a gap over Yifei, but constantly, as it does around Spa, the gaps will open and close as quickly as that with that long run down the Kemmel Straight.
And it does look like Cameron Daz has just overtaken Benjamin Pedersen for 7th. Nicholas Cruton back into the points up to 9th place. We're not seeing that battle right now because we're focusing on the leaders. They're unlikely to be making passes at this section lap. I imagine it's going to be at the end of the Kemmel Straight where we've just had the jostling for position. You can actually see Van Berlo at the back of frame. He is closed in right onto the rear of Ido Cohen. So he could be fighting for 4th place very soon. Louis Foster hasn't got that much of a margin to those two either. And both of those drivers are around 4 seconds behind our lead 2 right now.
Up towards Stavolo, this your top 2. Lucas Dunner just a slightly wide there. Yifei tucked in behind him. I have a feeling we're going to go all the way to the flag with this one, like we did yesterday. Louis Foster now, what times is he doing? Last time around he did a 2:11.1, and it was a 2:11.1 as well for Ido Cohen, so he isn't exactly being caught. And he'll hope that the two behind start battling, because he's got a second, just over a second. That isn't a huge amount of time around Spa. You tend to half the gaps around here. That's what they really are, because once you get within that kind of 6-7 and you're in the slipstream, you can easily close in. So this is Van Berlo, who's been the star of the show so far, in 5th place, battling away with 4th. And the Drivex guys very pleased with what they're seeing. Had a chat with Glenn at the start of the weekend, actually on Thursday, and he was very excited for this one. He's never been here before, and absolutely loved it. I got to chat to him as well after practice, and really enjoying the circuit, as you can imagine. We've got a warning actually going out for Lucas Dunner, and we're about to see a battle for the lead. There's Zane Maloney, who's sadly having to watch from the pit lane, but here we go. Yifei to the right of picture, trying to take this lead back, and he's already done it, so Yifei goes back into the lead once more. Another change of lead here in Euroformula Open race number 2, as these two continue to lock horns out on circuit. Down towards Bruxelles, Cohen is now closing the gap to Louis Foster. It's come down even further. It's come down to just 0.8 of a second, and that is where Lucas Dunner is going to have to be careful of track limits. You can see it in the background. Ido Cohen has pulled an advantage over Van Berlo and is closing the gap to Foster now. Maldonado has come into the pits. We saw him drop down the order earlier in the race, and they don't look in a rush to get that thing repaired either, so sadly we might have 2 drivers that are not going to finish the race. We have had laps added on, by the way, when we had that safety car period. Now this is Esner versus Rui Andrade, and that's Rui Andrade going all the way around the outside. What a move that was from Rui Andrade. That's going to put him up a further position, so great driving from the Angolan driver there. And that puts him in the points, as we now see our leaders fighting away with each other. They do take a different line into the chicane, but this time it's because Lucas Dunner was going to try for a move. Every lap they do take Yiffy takes a wider run to the final corner. Dunner a tighter line. It looks like every lap they're side by side there, but it's just the approach that they take to that corner is slightly different as they now break for La Source. And I wouldn't be surprised if we see another change of lead here, because Lucas Dunner to me looks close enough.
Yeah, and these two are absolutely on the limit. They were separated by 0.078 seconds on that previous lap. So this is back to what we were seeing in qualifying yesterday. They were just so close to each other. Dunner has definitely got the advantage of the slipstream going up onto the Kemmel Straight. He's already within a car length. Yeah, he's already defending. We've seen this quite a lot from Ye this year. He defends very late and very almost sharply. As Dunner takes the outside line down the Kemmel Straight, he's already ahead prior to Lacombe. Is Ye going to brake late? He tries, but he still has to concede position. So we've now got Dunner back in the lead with 6 laps to go.
His team manager has been asked to go to the pit lane, so their team manager, rather, Lucas Dunner, he's been warned a couple of times, and I think he is on his final warning for track limits now. So he's got to be careful as much as he's fighting for the lead. We've had Benjamin Pedersen, by the way, go up to 7th ahead of Andreas Essner. So Pedersen up into 7th. Good driving from him. The gap between Louis Foster and Ido Cohen is leveled itself out a bit now. Louis Foster is starting to respond. Last time they crossed the line, it was 1.1 seconds and 0.8 it was between Cohen and Van Berlo. This battle for third is not over. There is still something in this. If there's one mistake between any of the two guys leading this queue, then we've got a fight on our hands, whether it be for third, fourth. Louis Foster, on his first weekend racing in this championship, has got himself into a podium position, but if he wants to take it, he cannot afford one mistake or any penalties in terms of track limits. It's going to be a tough final 5 laps for Louis Foster here, as he'll be keeping an eye in his mirrors over Ido Cohen, who will be doing everything he can to get himself back onto the podium for the 2nd race in a row, and he'll want to do it his own way. He'll want to do it because he made the places up, and he's so far made all these places up himself, and he's closed the gap to 1 second, so it's come down just a little bit more now. Ido Cohen chipping away at this advantage that Louis Foster has over him. And is he going to be able to get there before we get into the final couple of laps? Lucas Dunner's gap when he come across the line, 7.5 tenths.
Yeah, and I think the gap between our top 4 now is still within distance, that we could have a proper battle for the lead. Ido Cohen's actually trying to keep heat in his tyres, swerving down the straight there. Dunner still ahead at the end of Kemmel Straight. Foster's defending very early in the straight. We've already panned back to the lead battle, but I think Ido Cohen could be trying to make a move here for 3rd place as they come to the end of the 1st sector. Foster's sector time is just ahead by 0.1 seconds, so he did keep that position there. Cameron Das has closed in again. He's now only 2.5 seconds behind Glenn Van Berlo with 5 laps to go. And
he was a second quicker, wasn't he, last time? So, yeah. You know, theoretically, he should close that gap down unless Van Berlo starts to up the pace. Cameron Das, albeit Lucas Dunner, he's the next quickest car on track. Shame for him that he has had that incident, that contact he had with Zane Maloney, which was unfortunate contact really between the two. Oh, and running wide there was Lucas Dunner. Just as we cut to a replay, Lucas Dunner running wide out of Stavolo. This is a replay of Louis Foster coming through the chicane, and that shows just how close the gap is between the two. But what's happened now with, that's Louis Foster running wide. You can see he's got to be careful there. But here we go. We've got a battle now for the lead once more. Are we going to see a further change here? Yiffy is going to take a tighter run up to the chicane. Is he going to go for the move? No. So you can see Lucas Dunner taking that wider line to just try and break the toe as they go up to the run for the chicane. But now Yiffy will be close enough when we go up the Kemmel Straight, as long as there is no mistakes through La Source or Eau Rouge. As we hit the brakes in towards La Source, we go. 4 laps are remaining in this race. Here's a look at a replay. Too much speed carried in, and there you can already see he's got it wrong, and now he is onto the gravel just a little bit, and Lucas Dunner playing with fire there. We're about to see a potential challenge for the lead, if not a change. Up Eau Rouge they go. Here's Yifei now tucked into the slipstream of Lucas Dunner as we make our way down the Kemper straight. Oh no, Yifei's off. Yifei's off into the grass and he's round. Yifei, championship leader, has spun. Lucas Dunner will continue in the lead. Louis Foster will now come through to take second. Ido Cohen will go into third. Glenn Van Berlo fourth. And Lucas Dunner's run wide as he picked up contact here. Lucas Dunner, he's run wide at Lake Como as he got a puncture to the left rear tyre. He looks like he might do. Let's have a look as they come through Brooksales. Yes, he has. And
yeah,
Lucas Dunner's out of the race. Luca, I don't believe it. The two championship leaders.
He can keep it going.
Two championship leaders are out. And that means Louis Foster is going to take the lead of the race. I don't think Lucas Dunner's going to be able to make it back. Ido Cohen will go through now into second. And Glenn Van Berlo goes into third place. 3.5 minutes left on the clock, and the Double R Racing team lead the way with Louis Foster on what is only his second ever race in the championship. I can already see the crew heading over to the pit wall, and they cannot believe it either.
We've still got 4 laps to go though, remember, still there's 4 laps and everything could change.
There's only 3 minutes left. There's only 3 minutes left on the clock. It's 14 laps, but there is a time limit as well. Even if we have a safety car, I think Louis Foster's got this one in the bag. Lucas Dunner is trying to make it round. We might see a safety car if he has to pull up. I don't know where Yifei is. I don't know where he is.
I don't think he got the car started again.
So he's stuck on the Camel Straight, and Louis Foster leads the way on what is his opening weekend of the season.
Yeah, he did complete the first sector. He's lost 40 seconds, so he has got going again, but I imagine he'll probably crab his way back to the pits.
Here we go, we got a battle for the last step on the podium now. Ido Cohen in picture there, he's second. Glenn Van Berlo is third place. And then Cameron Daz, who had to go all the way to the back of the field and started from the back at the safety car. He is in fourth place. Benjamin Pedersen is in fifth place as we now turn our way in towards La Source. I don't think there's going to be a safety car. Louis Foster leads by over 2 seconds, but we've got 4 in the queue for second place. And here you go, Ido Cohen already trying to break the toe as they go down towards Eau Rouge. Glenn Van Berlo tucked in. Cameron Daz likewise. Up Eau Rouge they go. Here's a replay of the contact, and there it was. It didn't even look like there was contact. It must have been before we saw him. Yifei spins round. Lucas Dunner has picked up a puncture, but we're about to see the battle for second. And there you can see that was where Lucas Dunner had the puncture. And
he already had a flat tyre by that point.
And here we go, side by side for second. Glenn Van Berlo round the outside of Cohen. He's taken to the exit of the circuit. Is he going to have to give that place back? Cameron Daz is now tucked in, but Glenn Van Berlo on track is second. Cohen is third. Lucas Dunner's car comes in the pit lane, and then we've got Daz, and behind that, Elliot Pedersen.
Yeah, I'm going to hate to say this, but I'd already pre-written my race report just before that crash, so I'm hating myself right now. Benjamin Pedersen, that was a wide moment there. He's already right behind Cameron Dass as well. Because we've got like what, a 5 car battle for the win potentially here. Louis Foster does have a 2.2 second margin. He is going to be wondering how he ended this day winning a race potentially after ending free practice day with only 5 laps in the books at this circuit after crashing in free practice 1. So a great turnaround of fortunes. Glenn Van Berlo will be loving to also get drive at school back on the podium, because we haven't seen that team up, on the podium stops for a while. And here's a replay of Glenn Van Berlo trying to go around the outside. Ido Cohen had to respond to Das on the inside. Van Berlo, Ido Cohen opens the steering. Van Berlo cuts across the chicane, so he has now given that place back, I believe, or has he not?
No.
We see Ido Cohen. He's slowing down though, so he's wanting them to get back quick as possible so he can then go and start attacking Foster. All this has done is actually helped Foster, because they can't do anything until they've got back past Van Berlo.
Well, Van Berlo, surely he's going to have to give that place back. I think we're about to go on to the final lap of the race, because we only have 20 seconds left on the clock. And here we go. We're going to go on to the very final lap of the race then. In they go to La Source. Here is your battle for second place. I cannot believe what I'm seeing. Louis Foster leads. Glenn Van Berlo, the rookie, is in second. We've got a driver on his first weekend leading. A rookie in second place. First time podium finisher from yesterday, Ido Cohen is third. And Cameron Daz, who had to go back to all the way to the back of the grid behind the safety car, is now challenging for third place. And Cameron Daz in the tow, in the white and black car there. That is the American Cameron Daz trying to get his first podium of the season. He's trying to get back past Ido Ido Cohen, Glenn Van Berlo in second place there, and Cohen now trying to get past Van Berlo defending. Daz goes to the outside, Daz around the outside, and Cohen takes to the runoff, and Cameron Daz just about rejoins without making any contact, and he's now ahead of Ido Cohen.
We now have another complication though, because if Van Berlo has to give back that place, and so does Das, Cohen's now behind 2 cars who he should be ahead of, and Pedersen's right behind him. Ultimately here, Pedersen could end up overtaking all of them. And it looks like, well, Maldonado is back on track. He's actually racing on track with Lucas Dunner right now, because they're both a lap down, down in 12th place. So we've got Van Berlo in second place, we're around 3 seconds behind Louis Foster. Ido Cohen in third, Cameron Das in fourth, Benjamin Pedersen in fifth. Van Berlo and Cameron Das have both made moves at Macomb by going across the chicane rather than taking to the track. So we need to find out if there's going to be any steward investigation. In fact, we've just got a notice between car 20 and 69. That was actually Ye and Dunner we investigated after the race. I'm not surprised their attention's been taken by that. But we do also need to figure out the rest of these podium spots.
Well, I think they're just going to finish the race and let the stewards deal with it afterwards. But here we've got a battle for second coming up to the final chicane. Cameron Daz in the slipstream of Glenn Van Berlo. Is he going to be able to make a move? He's getting closer through Blanchimont. Louis Foster is getting ready to take the win. Up towards the final corner they go.
Cameron Daz has to slow down though. He's just been told to give back the position to car 8.
Well, here we go. Out of the final corner on his very first weekend in the championship. His second race of the weekend. Double R Racing and Louis Foster take the race win as they come across the line, and they're all trying to give positions back going across the line. Ido Cohen goes across in second. Van Berlo takes his first ever podium. Glenn Van Berlo, the rookie, a rookie win and a podium. Daz is fourth, Pedersen is fifth. Double R Racing celebrate their first win of the season, a first win for Louis Foster, and there we go, the team celebrate, and they absolutely deserve it as well. Fantastic result for Double R Racing.
Here's a replay of the move. The complication here was the stewards actually told Das to give back the place to Benjamin Pedersen, who was quite behind them. He ended up trying to give it back to Cohen on the line. It all went wrong.
Everyone was slowing down, weren't they, coming up to the line? It was crazy. But I think it actually worked out, because Ido Cohen was ahead of Van Berlo, and Van Berlo was ahead of Cameron Daz, but there was half a tenth between them. But what a beautiful moment this is about to be. Louis Foster comes into the British driver who came here this weekend. He raced his British F3, and he has come into this championship, and in the second race of the weekend, he has put Double R Racing on the top step for the first time this season. What a fantastic performance from Louis Foster. And what a podium that is. Ido Cohen in second, and Glenn Van Berlo, the rookie, finishes in third place. His first rookie win, his first podium, the best result Glenn Van Berlo has ever had in this championship. And Louis Foster taking the win. Ido Cohen takes his best result of this season so far with a second place in his second podium, and Glenn Van Berlo his first podium and his best result. And Elliot will be off to do the podiums very shortly to welcome them onto the track. But what a podium that is! Yeah,
I'm hoping that the positions are decided by the time we get that. I think that might be Double R Racing's first win outside of Britain as we go through the results. Louis Foster provisionally 2.8 seconds up on Ido Cohen, Glenn Van Berlo in third, Cameron Das fourth, Benjamin Pedersen in fifth. 2 Double R drivers debutants this weekend. Cruton all the way up to sixth, and he was quite far at the back. Esner seventh, Rui Andrade eighth, Sebastian Esser ninth, and Alexander Bardignon back in the points. I am now going to run very quickly to the podium.
Finishing 11th, Yifiye, Manuel Maldonado 12th, Lucas Dunner 13th, Zay Maloney out of the race. Our 2 championship leaders out of the points, and this is what it's done to those points. Yifiye leads by 95, Andreas Esner 3rd, Nicholas Cruton 4th, Ido Cohen 5th, Manuel Maldonado 6th, Maloney, Daz, Simmons and Esner. As we get ready for the podium celebrations. There's going to be big celebrations. We've got a driver winning on his first weekend, a best result of the season for Ido Cohen, a best ever result in the championship for him. Likewise, a best ever result for Glenn Van Berlo in his very first season, takes a rookie win and a third place. And there is our race winner, Louis Foster. So let's go through the podium one more time. Who expected this? Rookie Clem Van Berlo finishes in third place from dead last on the grid. Van Berlo is third, finishing in second place. Carlin driver Ido Cohen, his first podium yesterday. He does the double in terms of podiums, his best result of the season in second. But Double R Racing, it's their first win in the championship, a first win for Louis Foster on his very first weekend. I bet he can't believe it. Let's go and hear his reaction.
Foster for debut in the Euroformula. That's a very good debut, winning this race too, which has been quite lively.
Yeah, definitely. We started P4, and then I got a decent start, but there's a guy behind me who got a better one, so I was fifth at the end on the exit of turn 1. And then I got a really, really good draft. We changed the car a little before this race to try and get more straight line speed, and I nearly made it into first at one point down the Kemmel straight on the first lap. But then I settled into third, and I knew that the Crider Power boys were going to clear off, and they obviously did. And I was basically managing the gap to Cohen behind me. And then all of a sudden, on one lap down the Kemmel straight, I just saw yellow flags and loads of smoke, and managed to see through the car. I could see where the car was, so there was no issue with hitting it. But then I also wondered if there was damage on the other car, and then I saw him at turn 8 going wide. He nearly hit me on rejoining the track, to be fair, but no, as soon as they were both off, I had a pretty decent gap, and from there on it was just bringing it home with 2 or 3 laps to go.
Enjoying the Dallara 320?
Yeah, it's really good fun. Obviously, this is basically my second day in it, and second day at this track, because testing we only did like 5 laps. So no, it was really, really happy, really good result. Can't thank the team Double R Racing enough. They've done a really good job. The car's been amazing all weekend, as you can see, because my teammate Ben's done also an amazing job. So I think next race is starting 4th, so let's try and copy the result, but I think we'll aim for a podium, to be realistic.
Well done. Podium now.
Well, in terms of drama, he'd had absolutely everything. This is how it all started. The 2 championship leaders, Dunner to the left, Yee to the right, would lead us up towards turn number 1. Cameron Daz in the background there, trying to dive through, and he would hold third place at the start of the race as we went down towards Eau Rouge. Clem Van Berlo run wide. He started from the very back of the grid, but certainly wouldn't stay there. And by that point, he had already made 2 places. He'd make a further 4 on the opening lap of the race. 3 wide going up towards Lake Coombe. This was when Zay Maloney tried to move around the outside of Cameron Daz. He was on a charge at that point, Maloney, but sadly he would end his race in the gravel just a few corners later. Cameron Daz would then have to come into the pit to get some repairs, and with Maloney in the gravel, the safety car would be deployed. When we got going again, the 2 leaders broke away. They continued to trade places. Yifa Yee taking the lead back there, going in towards Lake Coombe. In the background, there was a great battle for third. This was when we got going again after the safety car. You can see that's Yee leading. He took the lead just before the safety car came out, so he would have the lead going out the back of it. Manuel Maldonado tried another send it in towards turn number 1. That time it didn't quite work out for him, but this is where it all kicked off. The 2 leaders side by side, and all of a sudden we have a tyre explosion for Dunner. We have Yee going round and facing the wrong way, and he would eventually get going again, but with Dunner's tyre unfortunately exploding on him, that meant that the lead of the race would be handed to Double R Racing's Louis Foster, and Louis Foster would lead the way as he came out of the final corner. Louis Foster would lead the checkered flag, and Double R Racing would take their first win. Clem Van Berlo from the very back of the field finished third. Ido Cohen, his second podium, he would finish in second, but Double R Racing are on the top step. So podiums there, you can see top step Foster to the left is Cohen, to the right Van Berlo, and Double R Racing out there. Now we will have the national anthem of Great Britain. a sight that is. Louis Foster on the top step. Ido Cohen, his best result this season, and from dead last. Can you imagine that? A rookie in his first season in this championship, his second year of single-seaters. He drives from 14th to 3rd. That's not where we're going to end it this weekend. If you want more Euroformula Open racing here at Spa, then we can help you out. 20 minutes past 3 is when we will go green for race number 3. We'll see you then.